Formula One is back. The new season's upon us, and tonight I'm feeling a little bold. What's up, family? Come on inside and enjoy the newest episode in the Scrutineering room. I'm David, glad you're along for the ride, and tonight we're talking Formula One 2024. Yes, testing has already been completed, and I may be cheating a little bit, basing everything off testing, but then again, testing tells us nothing in the world of Formula One. So I think I still have a lot to play with here. But with that being said, here are my 7 boldest predictions for Formula One 2024. The 2 things I will not try to predict in this episode is the Driver and Constructors World Championship. Mr. Verstappen and Red Bull, just don't make it a stinker, please. But with that being said, here are my 7 boldest predictions for Formula One 2024. I'll start with number 1. We will have 2 new winners this season. They will come from the same camp. I am predicting a win apiece for both Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. This team is not going to start off on the foot they did last year. McLaren definitely has their act together. Oscar has pushed Lando in ways that Daniel Ricciardo didn't, and the likes of Carlos Sainz did. If you are familiar with Oscar Piastri and how he came up to Formula One, he blitzed through the junior formula. In Britain, Formula 3, Formula 2, he absolutely nailed everything, and last year he showed his promise. So much in fact, McLaren was so enamored, they gave him an additional contract, and both Lando and Oscar are there through at least 2026 together. Now, of course, we know contracts mean nothing in Formula One, but boy does McLaren have the foundation, and the MCL 38, while a little bit on the unreliable side during testing, still was a fast car. And I believe Zach Brown, Andrea Stella, and company have the pieces. If they do not hit it right initially, they can get it right, and they can get Oscar and Lando, in my opinion, a place where they can be competitive and can sneak wins like they did in 2021. Lando should have won that Russian Grand Prix, but the past is past. But let's talk about the man who actually won that Russian Grand Prix, because that was his 100th win, and there hasn't been a lot after that. Saudi Arabia 2021 was the last time the great Sir Lewis Hamilton last touched the top step of the podium. Bold prediction number 2. Mercedes has finally gotten over the hump with this new formula of regulations, even though there are only 2 years left of it, I should note. But Lewis Hamilton will finally get win number 104 this season. Yes, he will finally break his drought of 2.5 years without a win. And if you remember, once upon a time, we thought that was going to be unthinkable. Remember, Lewis went 15 consecutive seasons from 2007 to 2021 with at least 1 win to his name each season. That record tie Michael Schumacher. 2022 would have been the record 16th, but he was on the wrong end of the 1-2 finish in Brazil. But not trying to go too far down a beaten path here. Mercedes, at Lewis' request, once they realized the side podless concept did not work, they finally did go down the path that Lewis wanted them to go. And while they didn't turn heads a lot in testing, this is still Mercedes. This is still a world championship team, and they still have what, in my opinion, is the best driver on the grid in Lewis. Yes, he's 39. Yes, he is maybe, yes, people still consider him over the hill, but no. He still has a lot of drive. He still has a lot of passion. Lewis is determined, especially with the rivalry he has with Max Verstappen. He is determined not only just to get back to the top step of the podium and win Grand Prix again, he's determined to take the fight to Verstappen. He wants that 8th championship. Will it happen this year? Will it happen at Ferrari in 25 or 26? Only time will tell. So, I predicted a couple of winners this season, but let me go a little bit further down the grid order. Number 3. Haas will score points before Alpine this year. Hear me out. If you have kept up in the Formula One circles, Haas and their longtime team principal Gunther Steiner parted ways in January. Making way is now Japanese former technical director Aya Komatsu. While Komatsu played down Haas's prospects at both the launch and during testing did show Haas has one ace up their sleeve, and it looks like finally the reliability of the car may be solved, and it looks like the car might be better on tires this year compared to recent cars. If they are, they could be in to surprise more than a few onlookers when the season starts. Alpine, on the other hand, they look like they're going in the wrong direction. Reportedly, Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon are not big fans of the car. It's much heavier than they anticipated, and many think that the runs they did in testing thought to be heavy fuel may not be that. The car may be a lot heavier than they would like, and it may make them a whole lot less competitive. So, in that thought and theory, as much as I think Alpine is well suited, I think Haas will spring a surprise with their reliability. Maybe not with speed, but I think Haas could break the top 10 and score points before Alpine does. So, hey, there's an idea to think about. Number 4. VCARB. Visa Cash App RB, still officially known as Scuderia AlphaTauri RB. I will not get into the name merry-go-round tonight, but VCARB will crack the top 5 in the Constructors' Championship. Daniel Ricciardo and Yuki Tsunoda look like a very potent combo. They're also a very fast combo. I think that VCARB 01 is hiding a lot of power. They may not have showed it in preseason testing, but if they continue to build that car and develop that car like I think they can, and they have a new team principal, Laurent Mekies, fresh out of Ferrari. He knows how to win. The biggest test now, can he build a program? He didn't go far. VCARB is still based in Faenza, Italy, the longtime base of the team when it was known as Minardi. This team has a lot up its sleeve, and they may be another team that will surprise a lot of people this year. Again, they have a very solid lineup. You have young Yuki Tsunoda coming into his 4th year, and he probably has a teammate now in Daniel Ricciardo that can really help to get the best out of Yuki. Yuki, of course, known very well as a character, maybe a little bit high-tempered at times, but I think now with Daniel, and I think Daniel can get a lot more out of Yuki than a lot of people will think. But with Daniel's race-winning expertise, his drive to get back into the senior Red Bull outfit, I think there is a lot of potential that V-Carb could surprise and knock spoiler, Aston Martin out of the top 5 in the Constructors' Championship this year. Again, the gap after preseason testing looks like V-Carb won't quite be there, but it's Formula One. You never know. So, now that I've gone past V-Carb, I want to go to Williams now. Bold prediction number 5. Yes, I'm going to touch Logan Sargent. Logan Sargent will score multiple points finishes this season. Let's not feed around the bush. Logan's 2023 was unsavory. Your typical rookie season, plenty of rookie mistakes, and if it wasn't for Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, Logan would not have anything to his name, the only full-time driver to have done all 22 Grand Prix last year to have nothing to his name if it wasn't for those 2 disqualifications. He's done a lot of work in the offseason to make sure he feels much more comfortable and more confident in the car. He did have a spin during his shift in preseason testing. However, I don't think that's indicative of where Williams are. Williams looks like they will be in that top 7. I don't think they'll be finding any higher, and I'm pretty sure they're hoping not to go lower. But James Vowles has given Logan a lot of confidence. This is the season he has to show it. I think he will score multiple times. I think he will score within the first 4 races. And if he continues to show that confidence, I think he still will show that he has a place on the grid for 2025. Remember, as we go into the season opener, 14 of the 20 seats right now are still opening up for grabs. What will happen as the season rolls on? Only time will tell. Bold prediction number 6. Lance Stroll's going to bounce back and get a podium this year. At least one. Just like Logan Sargent, Lance had a dismal 2023. However, we didn't talk about it too much. Yeah, he had his bright spots, and granted, he did start the season with an injured wrist. Kind of. But Lance also had some performances that were absolutely in the gutter. Qatar comes to mind, and there were just times he was just wild the pace of Fernando. We knew he wasn't going to be faster than Fernando. He did show it at times, but the biggest knock I've had on Lance Stroll since he's came into Formula One in 2017 is he is just way too inconsistent. He's a fast driver. He showed it through the junior formulas. Fast driver, quick driver. He can win. However, he reminds me of a Pastor Maldonado at times. When he has the car and the situation is perfect and right, he will show his true talent and potential and speed. But when it's off, and when he tries to make things happen too hard, it blows up very bad. The 24 Aston hasn't been a world beater by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it still has a lot of pace, and we'll see what it really can do even under Fernando's tutelage. But I think Lance will end up getting a podium this year. But above all else, I just want consistency from Lance above all else. So since we're on the podium, that brings me to my 7th and final bold prediction, probably my boldest prediction yet. Let's run the clock back. Let's race like 2012. 7 for 7, I'm predicting at least 7 different winners in 2024. It's not far-fetched, and here's why. Yeah, we know Max has the potential to run the score up and possibly dominate the season. However, Ferrari showed speed. You got two winners in Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc. You got Carlos Sainz desperate to show the paddock he's worthy of a top-line drive after being shafted to make room for Lewis Hamilton. Carlos, already a Grand Prix winner, the only guy to win outside of the Red Bull camp in 23. He did not need any more motivation, and Ferrari literally lit a fire right under him about a month ago before the season started. Yes, he's been talked to be the main man to go to Audi for their Formula One factory effort in 2026, but with Lewis's seat opening up, a lot of people are thinking Carlos Sainz would be a good fit there. Again, that'll be its own different show. But you have the two Ferrari guys in Sainz and Leclerc. Let's not forget about Max's teammate. Yes, as inconsistent and as much as he has failed to live up to the expectations, records show Checo is still good for at least one win a year. He's won a race in each of the last 4 seasons. I don't see no reason, especially if the RB20 is as potent as the 19 was. I don't see no reason why he can't make it a 5th straight. Mercedes. A hungry Lewis Hamilton in his last season with Mercedes. You got George Russell ready to step out as Lewis moves on to prove he can lead this team. I think that W15 will hit its stride somewhere. Lewis will extract the most out of it, and Lewis will catch a break. He'll get a win this year. And to bring this back full circle, I did put Lando and Oscar in the win column. By the way, Piastri did win a sprint race last year, and no, they don't count towards the Grand Prix win tally. But McLaren showed last year they have pace. And with that momentum carrying over, I don't see why that cannot be the case again in 2024. And oh, by the way, you got Fernando Alonso still flying at, I think, 42 now? I've so forgotten his age. But if Aston Martin even gets that car right, watch out. We really have the potential of 5 different teams winning Grand Prix this year. Let me put emphasis on potential again. You have the potential to see 5 teams and maybe, 8, 9 drivers who have 7 of which have won before could be winning Grand Prix this year. Whew. All right, let's put this in the time capsule, dig it up in December, and see how right or wrong I am. That is my list of 7 bold predictions for this 2024 F1 season. What do you guys think? Am I crazy? Am I nuts? Am I onto something? Well, the lights go out in Bahrain Saturday. Only time will tell, and there's only one way to find out. Let's watch and enjoy. That does it for this episode of the Scrutineering Room, everybody. Thanks so much for coming in. Again, like, comment, subscribe. Please share this episode. If you like what I said in this video today, that's all I have for this particular episode. I'm David. This has been the Scrutineering Room. Thanks for coming in. I'll see you next time. And remember, don't forget to wear a smile. You look much better when you have one. Thank you so much, world. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.